With everybody getting younger, life tries to be what life hopes to be for everybody. Life tries to find something else to hope for rather than hopes, perfection and true love as such. Life tries and tries till finally fails. Life has been and will ever be life while doing exactly the same thing with nobody fearing time or death.
With everybody getting younger, life tries to be what life hopes to be for everybody. Life tries to find something else to hope for rather than hopes, perfection and true love as such. Life tries and tries till finally fails. Life has been and will ever be life, while doing exactly the same thing with nobody fearing time or death.
The with everybody getting younger line, that's kind of interesting because in life you think about people getting older and losing your time.
And I like the last line with nobody fearing time or death. I think that's interesting because time and death are kind of one concept as well.
You lose time and you will die eventually.
Because death has to do with time passing.
Exactly.
So
life tries to find something else to hope for rather than hopes, perfection and true love as such. And you try to find perfection and true love. That you maybe fail. You need to find something else than hope or perfection and true love. Perfection is like a hard word to say because like everybody is perfect in their own way.
Yeah.
And for other people, for perfection is something else than for like other people.
Yeah.
It's difficult to find the true love. And that's why I feel this is really touchable word or sentences here. And I find this really, really beautiful for everyone looking for the true love.
We do think that true love exists. Like we found us and we found true love. When you feel true love, it's for you, it's perfection.
Life tries to find something else to hope for because it's kind of asking the reader to seek out other purposes in life other than those societally set standards. Searching for a purpose in life other than the purposes that have been laid out for us by society. So perfection and true love and such refers to that kind of like the societally set standards of this is what you should be searching for in life.
Life tries and tries till finally fails. I don't know, because maybe the words, I like very much the sound of the words.
Very sad, but it is true that it finally fails.
It says that you always try, but like it's kind of pessimistic. I don't think it's in my life, but like some people might think or might be that pessimistic, so it could possibly be for someone who is a very pessimistic person.
Life tries and tries till finally fails. Like it's shortened, but that I like that because it has such a like deep meaning with life and time, and that the sentences and the actual poem is so short. I think that also like plays with that a little bit. Like, oh, we talk about having so much time or having so little time, and then like writing it shortly.
Yeah, I also like that it's like abstract, but it's still very like to the point.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be interpreted in so many different ways, but at the same time it's still very direct.
Yeah, and I like the line, life has been and will ever be life. I don't know why, it just sounds nice, it resonates
also,
with me.
If I say my Club Mate has been and will always be my Club Mate, that sounds stupid, but with life it like adds a whole nother like meaning.
Yeah.
I particularly agree with life has been and will ever be life while doing exactly the same thing, because even if life is something different for everyone, at the end life is just life, so the same for everybody.
It ends on a rather hopeful note, I suppose you could say, with nobody fearing time or death. So kind of when you're in this search for purpose, I suppose, in life, you're not really thinking about the death as much, or like your impending doom, whatever you want to call it. You're just trying to find something that gives you life in a way.
Life is not always our plans, and it is not always what we accept to have and how we accept to live our lives. Suppose it's like music. When at the beginning you are expecting that it will be just calm music and doesn't without action, and in the end you have drums or some expression, and that means that it is not always what we're expecting things to be better when the things really are.
With everybody getting younger, life tries to be what life hopes to be for everybody. Life tries to find something else to hope for rather than hopes, perfection, and true love as such.
Life tries and tries till finally fails. Life has been and will ever be life, while doing exactly the same thing with nobody fearing time or death.
The idea of kind of personifying life reminds me as well of studying poetry. Like, it's a tactic used in poetry to kind of make the reader understand the concept of life in a human-like perspective rather than it being this thing that we're all in together, I suppose.
Short and quick, I guess, with the words and the sentences.
The beginning is kind of the opposite of the end, and I think the end is like, especially at our age, I mean, we're 17 years old, we're at this age where we don't really fear time, or at least I don't really fear time or death.
Since
at this
we still
moment.
have so much of it.
So I think it like kind of speaks to me in that sense. Yeah.
This poem reminds me of Actually Love.
The movie.
Part with everybody getting younger makes me think about Benjamin Button.
Benjamin Button, obviously, I guess, about the getting younger part. Isn't it that he's an old man once he's born, and then he gets younger and he dies as a baby? So one line drawing, or almost one line, that reminds me of the line of life. You know, that everybody has their one line of life, and there's like ups and downs and curves and stuff, and that make you and shape you as a human. And I think this is like a literal depiction of that, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah, and I think it's also really interesting because they're kind of like distorted. They're not like it's two figures, but they're not standing like straight, and you can kind of interpret their expressions
and their movements.
And I think the movement with the concept of time, with the concept of death, with the concept of trying to not fail, brings it all together quite nicely.
Did somebody die and you have to move on? I think you've lost someone, and that was your inspiration for the poems.